November and December mark the beginning of an exciting holiday season. During this time of year, cool temperatures finally make their way towards Southern California, and people will find themselves hunkered down inside trying to escape the cold. For me, this couldn't be more of the opposite. November and December marks the beginning of snowboarding season, where I'm going to find myself flying down snow-covered hills at 30 miles per hour. My name is Jacob Rushing, and my snowboarding addiction started last October. Last October, I landed a job at a local snowboarding shop where I would tune up boards, go over snowboarding equipment with customers, and also sell skis and boards. On top of that experience, the last 3 weeks I've spent researching this topic to get some more in-depth information. Only an hour and a half away from our coast here in California is local ski and snowboard mountains. During the winter, these mountains see the people that usually would go to the beach start going to the mountains to have some fun. Thousands of people will be at the mountains by January, and according to the Canadian press, January 23rd, 2015, 12 million people in the United States went snowboarding between the years of 2010 and 2013. So that means that you could be one of these people this winter. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to inform you on Southern California's favorite winter sport, snowboarding. First, we're going to hit the bunny slopes, go over some background information of snowboarding. Then we're going to get into the fundamentals so you can slide into the powder with ease. And lastly, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks to stay safe once you're on the slopes. So, let's hit the bunny slopes and go over some background info. According to the International Directory of Companies Histories 2017, Sherman Poppin made the first snowboard. He made this snowboard by drilling two skis together, nailing two skis together, and adding a rope to the front. He did this as a Christmas present for his daughter, and this sold 500,000 copies before it went out of business. Working off of what Sherman couldn't do, Jake Burden Carpenter made Burden Snowboards, which is a $100 million company now, and can be seen in the Olympics today. Snowboarding is quite common, actually. According to the United Kingdom Times 2016, 8.2 million people went snowboarding in the 2012-2013 season, and this is only in the US. However, in the world, skiing may be more common. Here in our home, Southern California, snowboarding is definitely a more common sport, where you can see snowboarders outnumbering skiers almost 3-1. So, now that I've told you some of the background information, let's get into what you need to know before hitting the slopes. And you need to know about equipment more than anything. Selecting your snowboard is one of the most important topics you could have. There's 3 major types of snowboards. You have your park boards, your all-terrain boards or all-mountain boards, and you have your powder boards. Park boards are a little bit lighter, a little bit smaller, able to go through the all-terrain park or the obstacle park with ease. Your powder board is going to be able to float on top of powder, and is a little bit wider than your park board or your all-mountain board. And your all-mountain board is more of a jack-of-all-trades type of board. So you can go in the park and go in the powder. It won't perform the best in either, but it'll do everything just about. And while you have your board, you have to make sure you have your right bindings. Bindings strap you into your board and will keep you there the whole day just about, unless you take them off. These bindings can be configured goofy or regular depending on what foot you have forward, and they must be set correctly or else you're not going to have good enough control of your board. Also, you need to make sure your board is the right size for you. If you have a board that's above your head, that's not going to work. You're not going to be able to control it. So, according to my visual aid here, I can show you some information about what's going on. So this is a picture of me and my friends snowboarding, and here you can see my board is a little bit shorter than everybody else's because I'm a shorter guy. My friend on the left here, he has a larger board because he's a larger guy. You can see we're all decked out in our ski and snowboard equipment, other than our helmets, which we already took off to take the picture. If you also look at these bindings here, 3 of these are set up regular with our left foot forward, and one of us is set up goofy with his right foot forward. So using that information, you can kind of gauge for yourself what a snowboarder is supposed to look like and what the proper equipment looks like. Now that you know what you're going to need to go snowboarding, let's tell you some tips and tricks you need to know to stay safe on the slopes. Because we all know safety is number 1. Knowing your surroundings is a good start to go with. So while you're on the mountains, there's a few types of runs. There's greens, blues, and blacks. Green runs are your bunny runs, the beginner runs, where you're going to find the most people most of the time and the most inexperienced people. You have to be very careful because you can have people running into you because they don't know how to control their boards yet. There's blues, intermediate slopes. That's where you're going to find the bulk of people, or bulk of experienced riders. Blue slopes can be all over mountains, and it's where you're going to be once you've kind of been a few times. Blacks are the hardest ones to go on. They're the steepest, and you have to be really knowledgeable when you're going on those. And faster riders always have to look out for slower riders. If you're coming down the slope behind someone, it's usually because you're faster than them. So you have to always make sure you're looking out for them. So other than types of slopes, there's a few injuries that you need to know and how to prevent them. According to World Sport of Science 2007, wrist injuries are the #1 injuries in all of snowboarding. This is because when you fall down, you usually stick out your arms trying to brace your fall. A few ways to fix that is to fall on your forearms or to buy wrist guards. According to the Gale Encyclopedia of Fitness 2012, 55 to 88% of ski and snowboard related deaths are based on head trauma. So if there's one number I want you to remember, it's that 55 to 88%. Make sure you wear a helmet. So now you're ready to hit the slopes. First we went over some background information, then we went over some equipment, and then we went over some safety tactics you need to have. So when this winter comes around, pick up your board, pick up some friends, get in a car, head up to the mountains, and have a good time. Thank you again. My name is Jacob Rushing.